Chapter 4. Flying was not nearly as easy as it looked. Pint-Size stood up on his back trotters and flapped his front ones. His trotters, he thought, would do just as well as wings. Whirl, flap, flap. But however hard he flapped, and flapping trotters is not easy, and however much he jumped up and down, he somehow never managed to take off. But Pint-Size was not giving up. Sort of pig, he sat down and thought about it. Some good perseverance here. Nothing's ever easy at first. I mean, it took me days before I could walk. What was it Mama said to me? Practice makes perfect. He was out in the meadow practicing his trotter flapping when a crow spotted him and landed beside him. What are you up to, little piggy thing? I'm learning to fly. Oh, we've got a right one here. Ha ha! Pigs can't fly. Yes, they can. Mr. Rafferty said so. Won't you teach me? The crow cackled and flew off to tell his friends, and they all cawed together until they got sore throats, which served them right. Not very nice, is it, to laugh at people? Suddenly Pint-Size had an idea. Upside and Dine! They can fly! I've seen them! They'll teach me! And he trotted off down to the muddy pond. Upside down! He squealed, but they couldn't hear him, not with their heads in the mud. Upside down! Shh! Hush! Quiet! Oh, sorry. In the end, he got a long stick and he poked Upside Down in his down and down somewhere else. They were not at all pleased. What do you want? I want to fly. What, like this? They quacked, and they took off and looped a loop. They dived, swoop, they looped the loop. Yay, yay, yay! They whooshed, they soared, they floated, and they landed, quite puffed. Like that, they quacked. Yes, said Pint-Size, just like that. Please teach me, please. But they sniggered and snickered, as ducks do. You silly pig, you can't fly. Just you watch me, said Pint-Size, and he climbed up the garden wall and took a deep breath and then ran. Until suddenly there was no more wall to run on and he was flying through the air. For one wonderful moment he was up there with the birds, but then something was pulling him down and he was turning over and over. It's a pity Newton wasn't a pig. I wonder why he's saying Newton. We learnt about this previously. Who is something Newton? What did he tell us about? Then he landed, squelch, in the muddy pond. Na, 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 pigs can't fly. Just you watch me. Oh dear, thought Albertine. I suppose I'd better do something about this. She stood up and honked until all the animals woke up and came running. It's Pint-Size. He thinks he's a bird. Look over there. Pint-Size was climbing the ladder, and that is not easy if you're a pig, up onto the haystack. Peggotty closed her eyes. I'm not looking, she said. We mustn't let him out of sight, otherwise he'll hurt himself. Wherever he jumps, he's got to have a soft landing. Quick, Jigger, you're the fastest. That's my mum, making the hard decisions. Whoosh! Jigger sprinted across the farmyard until he was standing right under the haystack. Don't jump, he barked. Don't do it. But Pint-Size did. For one wonderful moment, he was up there with the birds. But then something was pulling him down, and he was turning over and over, and then he landed, squoof, on Jigger's back. Jigger never knew that little pigs could be that heavy, but he knew now. And very soon they all knew, because wherever Pint-Size went, they had to go, so that wherever he jumped, one of them was always there for him to land on. And every time he jumped, he flew further, or he thought he did. "I can fly!" he'd squeal. "Pigs can fly! I can fly!" And it was true. Well, sort of. Pint-Size flew as far as a pig ever had flown, but then he'd drop like a stone and knock all the air out of a poor Auntie Grace, and that's a lot of air, or Primrose, or Captain, or Egbert, or Frederick. But the one he liked landing on most was Diana, because she was very soft and very springy and very spongy. "Thanks, Diana," he'd squeak, and off he'd go again before anyone could catch him. "This can't go on." "You can say that again." "This can't go on." "I've tried everything I can. He just won't listen to me." "Something's got to be done." "Too true. Quite right." "But what?" Everyone looked at Albertine to see if she had one of her ideas, and of course she had. "Don't you worry," she said. "I'll have a word with a friend of mine. I've got friends in high places, you know. Just keep your eyes on Pint-Size, all of you. She's such a caring mother." And that's chapter 4.